Jean-Claude Juncker, the European Union's chief executive, had his annual moment in the spotlight on Wednesday, but his predecessor has cast an unwelcome if unmentioned shadow on his State of the Union address. Just as Juncker was telling Europeans the British vote to quit the bloc must not mean the end of an EU seen by critics as out of touch with citizens and in thrall to global capital, he is rowing with Jose Manuel Barroso for being hired by U.S. investment bank Goldman Sachs. The quarrel, in which Barroso has accused Juncker of taking discriminatory measures against him and the bank by opening an ethics probe in response to a public outcry, underlines developments in politics, not just in Europe, that create dilemmas for many in high office. First is rising mistrust of politicians. Quicker to believe they are in it for profit, voters are turning to populist alternatives. If the EU is, as Juncker said on Wednesday, an existential crisis, the personal conduct of its leading figures will help shape its fate. Mention of Barroso in the European Parliament's State of the Union debate came from Nigel Farage, the UK Independence Party leader who wants the rest of the EU to be wound up after Brexit. Farage, a former city trader himself, offered sarcastic congratulations to Barroso on his highly paid job at Goldman and told Juncker, "The big boys, I'm sure, will look after you." Second, leaders are getting younger but living longer, hence a trend in big names seeking new roles to earn a good living. And third, a response by institutions to tighten up rules on what former office holders do is leading them into tricky value judgments about public perceptions of conflicts of interest. Those in turn are tough to capture in hard and fast legal regulations. Public reaction. Barroso, in a letter to Juncker excerpted in the Financial Times on Tuesday, pointed out that many previous European commissioners have taken private sector jobs. He and Goldman insist they have acted legally and with high ethical standards. The former Portuguese Prime Minister, who stepped down after a decade as Commission President 2 years ago, was appointed non-executive